Hey guys, welcome to the Pricey Popcorn Podcast. I'm Brady Allin. I'm here with my guy Ben Kelkis.
Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you all today.
We're excited to bring this podcast to you. Personally, I've been a self-proclaimed movie critic for like a year now.
Self proclaimed, you are a fantastic movie critic, my friend. I look forward to the Instagram stories.
My boy Colin Waitsman told me I had to make a podcast, so here we are. So shout out to Ben for making this happen and agreeing to be my guest and just to do this with us and host us in his basement. So we're looking forward to giving you guys 30 minutes of movie and TV related topics each week.
Some of that good content to look forward to, if you know what I mean.
Today's topic is going to be a big one. Are movie theaters dead?
Dead?
So I don't know if you guys have seen or heard the news. Pretty much across the world and in the U.S., like all movie theaters closed because of COVID. Makes sense that we can't go to movie theaters with everything going on. But for the most part, they're closed, and the future does not look bright. Personally, I think even in 2021, 2022, when everything goes back to normal with COVID, I think for the most part, movie theaters are not going to really be a thing anymore. I think I'm the only one of my friends who really wants to go to a movie theater or really wants to pay for the ticket to just even go see a movie. I think everyone else, including Ben, would rather just press play on their TV at home, kick back in their nice fuzzy socks, and not pay for overpriced and pricey popcorn.
Indeed, I don't feel right in my fuzzy socks when I'm at the movie theater. But I don't know. I'm just thinking from the perspective of like the average movie goer or movie consumer. Who's missing movie theaters right now? Is there anybody like are people really sitting there thinking, man, I really wish I could go to a movie theater right now? Or for the people who are missing it, is that more of I really miss new movies coming out?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like I definitely miss movies, and it's hurting me. Like trying to find new movies to watch and just like look for indie films. It's been really hard, but like not going to the movies even once a week is still killing me because I do miss the big screen and the big movie experience. But yeah, I agree. Probably like most of that like missing and most of like people's upsetness with movie theaters is probably like just because there's no movies coming out. Like no one's releasing. Every movie that was supposed to come out pretty much from March until now has been postponed until at least 2021. Like Black Widow was supposed to come out. The new Quiet Place was supposed to come out.
Plenty of Time to Die.
Yeah, I mean, like I think every single movie that I had on my list besides Tenet was supposed to come out has been postponed, and it's not a lack of trying for me to not see movies. Literally the first week movie theaters opened around here, I went. I was like, screw it, I'm going. I have to see a movie in the theater. I'm gonna put my mask on. I'm gonna bring hand sanitizer and wipes. I think I was the only person in the theater, but still, like, I was just so excited to get back. And I regretted. I saw New Mutants in the theaters, and it was awful. It was so bad.
You're
like
kidding me.
I almost got up and left. I was so excited to see a new Marvel movie, even though it's not an MCU movie. I was so excited to see it, even though everyone was like, "Oh, Brady, it's gonna suck. It's not gonna be good." Everyone was like, "Don't go see it," and I was like, "I have to. I have my AMC Movie Pass, so it's like it's free to go see it. I don't have to pay extra for the ticket." And it was just bad across the board. It was not worth seeing. Not in a movie theater, not at home. If you're listening or watching, like, don't watch the movie. If it comes on Netflix or Hulu, don't waste the time. Like, it's not good. The acting's bad. Just overall bad experience. I really wanted to walk out of the theater. To be honest, like, few movies I would consider walking out of, I was like an hour in and I was like, this is just not entertaining. It's not a good movie.
Well, respectfully, I think and hope that you're wrong. Because I was so looking forward to New Mutants. I haven't seen it yet, of course. The only theater that I've gone to is the AMC in Harrisburg, and that's what it was. And we went together to see Tenet, which was a movie. And yeah, I wanted to see New Mutants. I had high hopes that it would be good. It breaks my poor little heart to hear you say that it was so bad. Especially because I thought that was such an interesting concept, as we're getting more into different kind of genres within superhero films, to see like a horror or thriller kind of thing. I was hoping that would be good, but
So when I first heard about it, I honestly thought they were going to incorporate it into the MCU. And then like leading up to it, when
Exactly.
I told people I was gonna go see it, they're like, "Yeah, it's not like an actual Marvel movie. It's just like supported by him, I guess is the right word." So I was disappointed to like learn that, but I still went and saw the movie. Still sucks. Still wasn't worth it. But on top of New Mutants, I saw other movies. I saw Kajillionaire like 2 months ago, and that was bad. It wasn't good either. I wouldn't recommend really seeing that either. Besides Tenet, which we'll get to in a little, the best movie I saw in theaters the last 6 months was The Empire Strikes Back, and that, and they just played it for their 50th year anniversary, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go see it because I've never seen the classic Star Wars on the big screen, and even then, like, it was bad. Like the nostalgia was the best part of that movie. It wasn't as exciting on the big screen as I thought it was gonna be.
Well, hey, speaking of walking out of movies, I'm probably going to get killed for mentioning this. My father walked out of the original Star Wars when he saw it in theaters way back in the day. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
That's gonna.
All these years, I mean, you look back on it, of course, it's Star Wars, but I suppose, you know, if you didn't know what you're getting into, you end up walking out. But anyway.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably not the only one, but
Well, his buddy.
it's not even fair of us to judge. That's not even fair of us to judge because, like,
Yeah,
they're
I'm sure
classic movies now. Our whole life has been classic Star Wars.
Exactly.
Honestly, we're gonna have kids, and one of our friends is gonna be like, "Yeah, I walked out of Attack of the Clones," and all they're gonna tell their kids, "I walked out of Attack of the Clones. It was so bad." And these kids are gonna be like, "What? You walked out of Attack of the Clones?"
The prequels are amazing cinematography.
I like the prequels.
They
But
hold
a
a
lot of people
special
don't.
place in my heart. I love them. I love them prequels, in spite of how bad they are.
All right, but to get back on topic of are movie theaters dead? Let me hear. Are they dead? Are movie theaters dead?
I think hard overreact. I think movie theaters will be okay.
So my biggest reasoning for it is, so I watched Mulan. I didn't pay to see it, but I watched it. I just think the Mulan model of having it go to a streaming service like Disney Plus, and you having the opportunity to pay $20 to see a movie in the comfort of your own home, and be able to split $20 with your friends. You know, I can invite 10 people over. We can each pay like $2 or $3 and watch the movie faster than probably we could all get together and head to the movies.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cheaper, more comfier. My friends have a nicer setup. Like some of my friends have great movie setups in their basements. Like good watching experience. I think that's gonna be the trend going forward after COVID and after all. It's like why would I spend $20 to go to the movies, get a $15 ticket, get a $5 overpriced popcorn, a $5 drink when I can, crack open a beer, eat some like McDonald's and fast food while I watch like a brand new movie. And like honestly, like I'll see every movie in theaters. I love going to the movies and seeing everything on like a big screen and the big cinematic experience. I don't think Ben does. I don't think Ben shares my like love in it. I don't think most people share my love in it. But I think most people would rather just stay inside and stay in their in their homes to watch it. And to be honest, aside from Star Wars movies, Marvel movies, maybe some like Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino, like thriller, big, exciting movies, there's probably not a lot of stuff that you want to go out and see that are worth seeing on the big screen for the average person.
This is incredibly true. Thinking, for myself and speaking for myself, I don't really go to a movie theater to see movies with people. I go to a movie theater because that's where the movie's playing. So I'm gonna go there for the big blockbuster films that I need to see right away. That the anticipation is just killing me. But really, other than that, I don't want to. There are a lot of films that I want to give that time to kind of. I'm a little bit of an introvert, you see, and I want to be able to watch it by myself, kind of, be able to back it up if I so choose, be able to throw those captions on, that sort of a thing.
I just learned that people watch movies and TV shows like 100% with captions on all the time.
I do.
I didn't know that people did that. I didn't know that was a thing.
I'm not like all the time. I'm probably like 90% of the time because I turned it on and I've left it on because I like it. Because you never know. Well, I guess I do know that a lot of times I'm watching a TV show. I don't know what the person just said, but when I can read it right there, You know, that's perfect. It combines both the auditory and the visual senses to create a movie experience that helps me digest the message the director's trying to get across.
Yeah, I just never got into it. I just never knew it was like a thing that people did. I just kind of assumed that everyone.
Well, it's admittedly distracting. Like if I throw it on the TV upstairs and my old pops gets down on the couch, he turns that off immediately. He does not want those closed captions. But the thing is, he's always rewinded. What did you just say? What did you say? Well, you know what? Just turn the closed captions on and read what he just said. You know, crisis averted. But alas, I understand why people might not like it.
So you're, yeah. So I'm gonna declare, even though I don't want to. Movies are dead. I think movie theaters will be dead. I think AMC's probably gonna go out of business until they can actually reopen. I think drive-ins are gonna come back. They're starting to. That's a topic for a different podcast. But I think like movie theaters as we know it are gonna pretty much be dead after COVID and into 2021, and it saddens me because I miss it and I love it, and I'm still paying for my AMC movie pass right now, even though I probably won't go see another movie for, I don't know, another 2 months, 3 months. I don't even know what's coming out next that I want to see.
When is the next movie coming out? What is the next? When is the next?
There was supposed to be something coming out in November that I liked, but I honestly forget. Like, I think Time to Die was supposed to, they pushed it back. I think Black Widow was supposed to, they pushed it back. I'd have to look at like a list and see if there's literally like anything coming out that's worth it.
Yeah, I know there was something that was just announced that got pushed back, but alas, I'm not entirely worried, because I guess that kind of gets. I mean, of course, I made the claim I don't think that movie theaters are going to die, but maybe that's just because I'm not thinking about it deeply enough. I'm not thinking about the economics of it. I'm not thinking about the average viewer. I'm thinking about, well, I guess myself as the average viewer, but I know that I will go. But I bet you, there's plenty of people who want nothing to do with it.
Well, I think just in general, like movie theater participation and people going was like dying down.
That's probably true.
Before COVID. Like, I have to look at the numbers because I'm a big numbers guy, but I feel like the numbers were definitely going down the last, 5-10 years. I think COVID just kind of sped it up.
Right. It felt like there was a boom right around the time, like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little further back than that, where theaters were starting to get renovated and everything. You get all your recliner seats.
Well, the one down where I used to live in Maryland, it was literally luxury, like brand new, like self-reclining chairs, like a huge screen. I could order like gourmet food at my theater.
Right, and when that was new, everybody was going.
And I'm not talking just like a nice burger. I could get like shrimp fried, like hibachi rice and like salads and like really nice stuff. I could get like mixed drinks. I could get like nice, expensive alcoholic drinks like brought to me while I watched the movie.
Brought
which is,
to
like,
you?
Crazy. Like, yeah, it's like dine in. Like, they bring it to you right before the movie starts. Like, as the lights are coming down and, right after the last preview, guys come in, they like, send them out.
Oh, but not during the movie?
No, not during your movie. But it's like right before, like right as it's about to start, they like bring in the food, they bring everything down. Like right when the lights are going, like dimming down, they like bring them out.
Well, I think what will save movie theaters is if the armrests are hooked up to those chutes, kind of like what they have at the bank drive-through. That'll send you your drink right to your armchair.
So if you ask movie critics in Hollywood, Tenet was supposed to save the movie theaters. Tenet was supposed to do what Marvel's done.
Supposed to.
And it was supposed to do.
They
like,
can't.
They didn't. And Tenet, like everyone blames Tenet for the collapse of movie theaters and what's gonna happen the next 5 months to a year. I think it's wrong. So Ben and I both saw Tenet together. I saw Tenet 3 times in the theaters.
I saw it once.
I love seeing movies in theaters, if I can, multiple times, because I like getting the whole, whole experience. But Ben's gotta go. Ben's gotta go first. Ben's gotta say what he thinks first about Tenet, because I don't want to be biased. And
my standards for Tenet were not that high, and obviously there was all the talk being the first movie to come out. That's a big cross for that movie to bear, to be the movie that's going to save the film industry during the pandemic. But look, that wasn't going to happen, and it wasn't going to be an odd Christopher Nolan movie that did it. And so,
well, yeah. So I don't want to cut you off. Yeah, no, I mean, no matter what it was, honestly, like even if like Avengers Endgame came out during the pandemic,
I don't know. There's a demand.
I don't think I don't think it would have saved movie theaters though.
That's true.
I don't think it would have saved movie theaters. I think it would have performed really well, and I don't think Tenet
Indeed.
released the. I don't think Nolan released the numbers of how well the movie did. But yeah, I don't even think like Endgame. Even if I don't think Endgame would have saved the movie theaters. Like I think Endgame would have came out. Maybe some more movies would have released, but I still think at the end of the day, like A Time to Die, they knew that that's not Endgame. They knew that's not an MCU movie. Like they still probably still wanted to come out. Maybe some of them would. Maybe like Black Widow would have just like came out and we'd have it by now. But I really don't think any movie you want to throw, even any new Star Wars movie, new MCU movie, nothing would have saved it.
Yeah, I guess they probably would have pulled those movies out of theaters, kind of like they did with Running Out of Time to Pass Away, because I don't know, they don't want to risk. Those are huge budget movies. They don't want to pull the risk. I guess Christopher Nolan and the Associated Studios felt like rolling the dice, but yeah, I mean, it didn't work.
Well, I think it was just so I started going to the movies like 2 or 3 times a week last July. And like one of the first movies I went to, I saw a Tenet preview. So I think that's why they had to do it, is because they started very aggressively with their marketing and they couldn't push it back any longer. Like they had to get it out. And I don't think, I think they just wanted to get it out and test it, and it was time. And probably they had pressure from Hollywood to get it out. But I don't want to speculate too much on why they released it, why other movies didn't. If you had to give Tenet an out of 10 rating, Ben, what are you giving it?
Certainly not a 10 out of 10. But I would give Tenet a 6.9 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. So I don't know, if you're watching this first episode, you probably see my Instagram movie reviews. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I loved Tenet. It's one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. I just felt like John David Washington, one of my favorite actors, like stellar performance. He was phenomenal. I didn't really respect Robert Pattinson before this movie, and I saw him. His role was phenomenal. I just think the story, the plot, the climax of the movie at the end, and then just the special effects and the Christopher Nolan touch and his little sprinkle of genius in there, I thought it was fantastic and phenomenal. So if you haven't seen it, I'd really recommend like checking it out, especially if we go into another lockdown and if you're just bored on like a Saturday night. Like, I mean, is Tenet even out yet?
I do not think that you can catch Tenet anywhere.
You can probably find it somewhere.
You can probably find it
somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend like Tenet's definitely movie of the year if you're not counting 1917 from last year's, because it wasn't included in last year's Oscars because it was late December.
Shoe in then.
So if you compare those two, honestly, I still probably think Tenet's better. But Tenet's definitely movie of the year just because nothing's come out. It's like you're comparing Tenet to New Mutants and some Netflix movies, including Borat.
Yeah, I frankly don't even remember what the last movie I saw in theaters before Tenet was. I mean, I guess you compare it to some of your Devil All the Times of the world and other such Netflix films. But excuse me for being a pleb, but are those up for Academy nomination?
I honestly don't know. I honestly am not sure like what the criteria is, and this year it might be certain circumstances that make it, if they're not applicable to be nominated. I feel like this year they might, try it. I feel like Mulan definitely will be. I feel like it has to be, but I don't know like their criteria of if it has to like make a certain amount of money, because like technically a Netflix movie doesn't make money per se, whereas like Mulan you had to buy it from Disney along with the subscription, so like you could gauge how much money Mulan made. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I know one of our next topics in the future is going to be Oscar nominations for the year, so we can do a quick 5-minute discussion on what is actually allowed to be counted and up for an Oscar nomination.
And we'll be properly researched at that time for the topic. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say that Tenet definitely, stacks up against any film. It's not that, I said 6.9. I don't think it's a bad film by any metric. I just don't think it's like crazy good.
I just thought it was, and maybe I just get too into it because I'm a big fan of the actors, and big
Right. I mean, I
fan of
love
the
the actors.
performances.
I've got a boy crush on little Robert Patty Boyd, on Robat Battenbat, as the Weekly Planet pod refers to him. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it was an excellent exercise in filmmaking and in special effects and putting together a story. And it was really cool because it's Nolan's take on time travel in a time when that's something that's getting covered in things like the Avengers films. So it's Christopher Nolan being like, all right, kitties in the sandbox, let me step in and show you how I can do it. And so I kind of watched the movie and saw it as Christopher Nolan flexing his guns on everybody and showing that he can make
I'm
a
Christopher
great
Nolan. I can make
and
a great movie that people aren't going to get, and I'm just going to say it's good
but
because
that's
you
the
don't
thing.
understand it.
It's like pretentious. It's like, it's not as good as he as
I mean, I can't
it
honestly. I
thinks it
can't
is. It
argue.
takes itself too
I can't
seriously
argue
to
with you
me.
there. I see it for like what I want to see it as.
Totally.
Okay, but okay. Honest question: if you're gonna rate Tenet compared to other Christopher Nolan movies, because I feel like that's the best way we can do it. He has some classic movies that we all love and enjoy. You went first, giving your. I'll go first. So like my favorite three, Interstellar will always have a special place in my heart. I just love that movie. I love Matthew McConaughey, and I just like love the whole cast and the fact that like I love Matt Damon too. Classic movie for me. Like one of my all-time favorites. Probably been one of my favorite movies for over 5 years. But I'd go Interstellar 1, I'd go Tenet 2, and then I'd go Inception 3. And everyone knows I love Leonardo DiCaprio, so to put Tenet over Inception, I think it's a big deal.
I think that is fair, and that is indeed a big deal. I think maybe I need to watch Tenet and Inception a couple more times because it's been quite some time since I've seen Inception. I'm definitely due. But I don't know. Is it real? I mean, that Inception cast is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
So
what an interesting story, and what stunning visuals all the time.
So I think the two things for me that make Tenet better is one, the two things in each movie that they try to do. So I think how, like you said, how Nolan he does his take on time travel in Tenet versus what he tries to do in Inception, where you first watch, you're maybe not sure, are they dreaming, are they alive, the cliffhanger at the end, like those two things, like those two elements. I think he does the time travel better than he does the sleep Inception element. And then two, like I said, I love DiCaprio, and the cast in Inception is phenomenal. Like it's almost as good as you can get. But I think that's also why Tenet's better, because John David Washington's growing and rising. Robert Pattinson is on, like, he was on his down, so like Twilight's the biggest thing he'll probably ever be in. But you have these.
But he's gonna be Batman. Maybe that. Well, I guess Twilight's Twilight.
Batman's not out yet, but
teenage girls do control what is popular.
But
that was Twilight.
Like you have, obviously, like the better cast is gonna get more credit, but like the cast in Tenet was definitely like not even half, probably. Like, you know,
yeah,
most people probably don't even know who John David Washington is.
I really
the fact
didn't.
that it's Denzel's son, like you probably, oh, that's Denzel's son. Okay, that makes sense. But
that
like
was
for
fresh.
the most part,
that was nice. It was all new faces.
Yeah, so I think if you have like new faces who can perform, you know, top grade acting and like churn out a believable story, and they're relatable, and you know, you can just like great acting. I feel like you got to give them a little bit more credit, and that's why I think those are two things. That's why Tenet's better. I think I like Inception more. I think if I had to pick one right now to watch, I would probably pick Inception just because I really, really like Leonardo DiCaprio and Gordon Levitt as actors, and I'd enjoy seeing them.
And something to me about Inception, it has a little bit less of that like Nolan kind of muted color scale to everything. It seems, just for my taste, is a little more vibrant and I don't know, energetic in a certain way. You know how Nolan films kind of have that tendency to be muted, and in terms of color as well as audio, if you want to make a criticism. But I don't know. Sorry to derail you.
No. No, I agree. Okay, so you gotta go. Your top three Christopher Nolan movies. I'm gonna tell Christopher Nolan himself. This is
I
going
mean,
right to him.
I haven't sat there thinking about exactly what like the top three, the best ones. I can say what my favorite ones are, and my favorite ones are definitely uh, Batman, Batman, and Batman. No, I kid, but no, you know, The Dark Knight is a great film to me. It really like I mean I just love that, and then I will put Interstellar above that because I think it's you know it's original, it's better. Um, it you know it's a little it's something more creative, something more fresh, and I guess I gotta put Interstellar at the top. I mean, it really is just like yeah, that is a riveting film.
Yeah, I can't. I honestly, I'll have words if you say Interstellar is not Christopher Nolan's best movie. You can like, I think Dark Knight is a favorite or like a second best.
Yeah, I
It's
mean that's a
close.
cheap one. Yeah.
I personally, yeah, I don't personally care for the Dark Knight as much as those other movies, just because of the kind of movie that it is, and it's Batman. Um,
Low key, I kind of like. I don't know. I might have to swap the Batmans that I put in there. Obviously, Heath Ledger's great and everything, and that movie is really good. But I really do like Batman Begins. But I digress.
that's fair. I honestly, you gave me the answer I wanted. That Interstellar is the best one. Um, but it is a little disheartening to hear you say that Tenet's not as good as I think it deserves to be. While you do make great points that it's overhyped, is a little pretentious. It is Christopher Nolan flexing on.
And like, there's no soul to it. And like, you know, there's the old adage. I'm a writing major, or I was when I was in college, and we have this thing called we academics have this thing called the adage of to show, not to tell. You want to show the viewer that Pattinson and Washington have this great relationship.
No,
Don't
I
tell
agree.
me at
No,
the
I
end
agree.
that
But I think
we're actually best friends, believe it or not. That just irked me in that moment.
honestly, and I can agree with you most times. Like I hate when actors and when writers put dialogue in of like I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm angry, instead of having the actors portray it and show it through their emotions and their actual dialogue. Um, but I don't know, that part didn't irk me. I thought it was good. Like I thought the whole time leading up to it, they teased that they knew each other and they were related. And I feel like the point of the movie maybe wasn't to focus on that, so that's why they just did it. Like I think for me, it made Tenet better. The fact that they threw that in at the end and they tie everything together and they show the flashbacks of it was him the whole time. I like that, but
Right, that reveal is an important moment of the film.
It is.
It's kind of like the punchline of the film. So, I've only seen it once. Did you find that the movie was better knowing that the whole time? Or
I
did you
wouldn't say
enjoy
that
it
it's
more?
better. Like definitely the first time was the best, the best view. But seeing it the second time, like you pick up on so much more. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, especially since it's not out. I think you just spoiled it as well. We might have to cut that out. We'll have to put a spoiler
Sorry.
alert.
Yeah, I'll come in with a little edit. Don't worry.
But no, yeah, second time like I picked up so much more. Like you see the little subtle hints that Nolan throws in. I enjoyed it the second time, and then the third time was just like the icing on the cake. Like this is a great movie. I enjoy watching it, and I'm excited to be sitting through this again. But compared to, I digress. I'm not gonna get into what I was just gonna say.
All right, if you insist. I don't know. I'm sorry for the spoilers, but yeah, I don't know. Great film, great film. I'll have to watch it again. Really, I don't mean to like bag on it too much because nitpicking is the type of criticism that one should try to avoid. But
I think the thing that we can both agree on is that it did not save the movie theaters, and that it was never going to, which is just it's sad. But again, like we both said, it wasn't going to, no matter how good it was or how exciting. They could have had literally every A-list actor and musician, and it could have been Tarantino and Nolan together with DiCaprio, McConaughey, Damon, Denzel. It could have been all of them, and they wanted it saved the movie theaters. But if I had a hammer right now, I would slam it, and I would declare movie theaters are dead.
You know what? I think you have me convinced. I think movie theaters are dead, and I think it brings up a great discussion point for perhaps another time as to what is gonna be next.
That's a tough question. Um, that's all. That's what we're gonna cut it off there today. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, thank you for listening in to Pricey Popcorn. I'm Brady. This is Ben. We're gonna try to drop an episode each week, so stay tuned.